That was one of the big applause moments last night. So meanwhile, there's been a lot of focus this week on the tension that has been brewing between the unions and Tea Party groups, including this attack, which you well remember from early in the week, from Teamsters President Jimmy Hoffa.
President Obama, this is your army. We are ready to march. Let's take these son of a bitches out and give America back to America where we belong. Thank you very much.
That's just one of the week's memorable moments, right? All right, joined now by Doug Schoen, former Clinton pollster. He's also a Fox News contributor. Sean Spicer is the communications director at the Republican National Committee. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you,
good to have you both here. Your reaction to this battle that's going on, Doug Schoen, and whether or not, how tough a time is the president going to have with the unions going forward on all this? He's trying to sort of keep them, sort of under his right arm at the same time as making changes that they don't like.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, if he's talking about cutting entitlement programs and doing free trade deals with Korea and Colombia, among others, this is not to the interests of organized labor. And Richard Trumka had made it very clear that labor was actively reconsidering its full-scale support of the president. No accident Trumka was in the box with the First Lady last night. No accident that collective bargaining became part of the jobs proposal. Central issue for the Democrats, key fight.
Yeah. Let's play another soundbite from last night that really caught my attention, and then we'll get your reaction to that, Sean. This is the Made in America section.
If Americans can buy Kias and Hyundais, I want to see folks in South Korea driving Fords and Chevys and Chryslers. I want to see more products sold around the world stamped with the three proud words, Made in America. That's what we need to get done.
You know what, Sean, I mean, that was a moment that I think had everybody nodding in agreement. I think everyone in this country wants to see more things stamped Made in America. But we all know that one of the big reasons that we don't see that anymore is because the unions put so many companies in untenable positions, and their choice was to get cheaper labor outside of this country. So how does the president square that?
Well, Martha, what it comes down to is what he was trying to make a reference to is that we have trade agreements with Korea, Colombia, and Panama that have been sitting on his desk for 3 years. Passing those agreements, particularly with the Korea agreement, will allow greater access for U.S. automakers. The problem is, as Doug kind of pointed out, that he's trying to square political ambitions with keeping the unions happy with what the economic realities are, which is how do we get more exports going, how do we create more trade, and that means signing those free trade agreements that have been sitting on his desk for 3 years. They are literally ready to go. One signature, they head to Congress, and that is clearly one area where I think Republicans would say, if you send those agreements, we'll take them up immediately and start exporting, but he just won't do it.
He made it sound like he wants to go forward with those deals, and it raises that question. Well, why not sign them? They've been sitting there for a long time. But, Doug, I want to get to the heart of this union issue and the relationship between, Democratic leadership, because a lot of the union membership out there has been very supportive of a lot of more conservative ideals. The union leadership has fought tenaciously to hold on to its political position, even though the membership in this country is down to something like 7% of American workers that are in unions.
Well, that's exactly right. And what you heard from Jimmy Hoffa was, we've still got troops, Mr. President, but more than troops, as the Chiron was showing, labor has money. And that's the key. And given the change in campaign finance laws, Martha, the key for Obama is to rally union labor and money, most of all, to support Democratic campaigns, especially in a context where union voters do not march in lockstep with their leadership.
Yeah, well, he said it's simple math at one point, and it is simple math in terms of many of these contracts that have been promised that simply cannot be fulfilled in so many cases for unions. So we need to go back to the drawing board in a lot of those cases. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Doug Schoen,
thank you,
Sean Spicer, a lot of interesting layers to that story, folks. Thanks, gentlemen.